if this is going to be a book interview, I should ask you at least. Can I ask like two more GamerGate questions? I guess.
Sure, sure.
Okay. What's your big? First off, can you define what GamerGate is? I never really asked you that. Or GamerGate was.
Wow. On the spot. A group of people who thought they were being. Oh, fuck. A group of people who thought what they were doing was virtuous and mattered. Yeah,
All right. Well, hey, that's
maybe.
an answer. And then
I guess.
I do ask two people. But since you're more you were pro, but now you look at things and you look at things a little bit more neutrally, I guess.
Critically,
What's
I would
your
say.
critically? Let's say yes, critically. What's your message to the pro GamerGate people, and then also what's your message to the anti-GamerGate people? What do you want them to reconsider
Those
from all
still
this?
exist.
Well,
Those still exist.
I don't like the movement's done, in my view at least, for
Yeah.
several years. But the people still exist. They still hold these opinions. So what's your message to the pro and to the antis? What should they take away?
To the pro gamergaters, I would say that that's actually something that you might actually keep me up a little bit. To the pro gamergaters, I would say look at what came out of it, especially on YouTube, anti-SJW YouTube. I don't think it was worth it. I think what came out of Gamergate was awful. Um, to the anti-Gamergate, I need to ask you personally. Like I got a lot of disillusioned leftists who joined my community over the last few years. And in the conversations that I've had with them, they keep telling me stuff like that BreadTube, or the people who we used to call SJWs, they're sort of increasingly becoming just as vicious and nasty as the anti-SJWs used to be. That they use the same sort of bullying tactics, the same nastiness, the same bland content repeating over and over again. Do you think that it might be the case that the people who were anti-Gamergate kind of won, but didn't learn the lessons that some of us learned?
I don't know. I don't know if they think they won or not. They might think they won, but the GamerGate people they think they won too. The 2015
Everyone always
2016
thinks they
survey,
won.
they think that they won in that survey. Because Brad Glasgow and Chris Ferguson asked them, and then the people I've interviewed they mostly think that they won as well. So it's like maybe they think they won as well, but I don't think they learned a lot of lessons. But also BreadTube and Anti-GamerGate are not necessarily the same thing. Like a lot of the BreadTube people weren't really involved with Gamergate. They kind of came after more. But some of them were
I think some of
anti-GamerGate
them
too.
were, yeah.
Some of them were like Philosophy Tube. Not no, sorry, not Philosophy Tube. Shit. Fuck. Well, who was it? Um, I'm blanking on. I know Hannah Zamora's in the chat. She mentions them sometimes. Innuendo Studios, like they were anti-GamerGate. Um, so there were a few others too, for sure. Um,
I think like
but
it was a great experience for us. We learned a lot, right?
we did, yeah.
We certainly learned a lot,
But I think
and
a lot of these. Go ahead.
I think it's not their time to collapse.
So
They
you.
refuse to learn the lessons that we learned.
All right, and then my last question before I let you go, and we can talk again if you want for sure. I'd be down for that.
Absolutely.
The next question would be, what do you think of this interview project?
Go ahead. It's always like okay. I'll be very upfront with you. It's always weird when someone talks about Gamergate 10 years later. It's always weird. But if you think you can do something to archive it for people to find, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, I
Who
think so
knows?
too. It's gonna be a multi-volume. It's gonna be a multi-volume book plus these live streams, and I'm making clips from the live streams as well. And I think it's really important because I think the historical narrative on this is wrong. Or there's not really a historical narrative yet, but
Nice.
this sort of the Wikipedia version of events, right? The Gamergate was a harassment campaign to drive women out of gaming. Like that's obviously not true. Like everybody knows that that's not true. So what the fuck was it really? And so that's what I'm exploring. And I've also included a lot of the anti-Gamergate people's voices. I've interviewed a lot of those people too. It's not just pros.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that one. I've moved on to making videos about political developments of states. But yeah, the one thing that I definitely want to talk with you about again is like the prospect of a liberal community coming into being, because that's something that I kind of in the back of my head really want to see, actually.
So
I'm really grateful for you for this opportunity to talk about things that I don't really often talk about. So my thoughts may have been a bit scattered because I've not tried to bury any of this because I still run the same YouTube channel that I used to back in the day. I wear the things that I did because I don't want to deny things that I did and was part of and was not part of, and things that failed and things that succeeded. I think it's all part of life, and one should be very honest about oneself all the time. But I rarely get the opportunity to speak about myself from my own perspective because a lot of people frame the conversation about me without asking me. It's something that is very annoying, especially in the political extremist circles. To the right wingers, I'm a commie. To the left wingers, I'm a Nazi, and I'm apparently don't get a say in how to frame it. Yeah, and I'm still not making a video about Hassan Piker. You can forget about that ever happening. Never happening.
So we can have that. I don't know. This could be a super long discussion. I don't know, but the building a liberal community, I would be interested in discussing that with you. But is a community what's necessary, or is communities the problem, right? Is these different communities the
No, communities are not the problem. Communities are not the problem. It's like if I look back at my time in the anti-SGW sphere with Sargon, the biggest problem there was that we didn't question Sargon. We didn't question him. We took
yeah.
what he said as
Well,
like, oh, for the
and then even when he did the game, remember, people did
yeah,
call him out on that, but a lot of people, including myself, kind of gave him a bit of a pass. Um, Remember he was working on a video game supposedly, right? And he crowdfunded money for this, and then it was several years later, and he at the time gave excuses like, oh gosh, there was an art problem, the artist, there was the work fell through, and I'm really working hard to try and get it solved, and then nothing, and he just dropped the project altogether. People should have called him out on that stuff more too, not just the politics.
yeah. By the way, I'm not turning on my webcam because I'm naked. It's so hot. That's why the AC is to 8 heat wave. So next time we should probably do that. If we stream again, I should probably let you know what the weather is. We should pick a day on which it rains.
Well, that could be your thing. You always stream naked when you become a
No,
streamer. All
All
right.
right.
Well, hey,
I'm
Kraut,
gonna open that, man.
I really appreciate you coming on and staying up late for this. I do appreciate it. And thanks for coming on.
No,
We're
we'll talk
going to go
again.
ahead and raid somebody. We'll raid Dylan Burns, okay? He's talking about the coup in Bolivia, or the alleged coup in Bolivia. I haven't looked into it. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching another GamerGate book video segment. For 30 days, starting on December 9th, I'm running a Kickstarter campaign for this project, so please back the campaign for the people of GamerGate on Kickstarter or at gamergatebook.com. This project investigating and documenting the history of GamerGate from a variety of perspectives requires your support, and I appreciate it. Thank you.